Hello everyone, my name is Ankit and today we will be learning about the lesson which was written by Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to the Freedom. Now if we talk about Nelson Mandela, he was the first black president of South Africa who worked relentlessly for the freedom of South Africa. He is also considered as the father of the nation of South Africa, who was imprisoned for almost 30 years. But still he did not lose hope, he did not lose his wish, and he did not lose his will to make the South Africa free from all the bondages. Like we had Gandhiji, who worked relentlessly for the freedom of our country, and he did not give up till we had a complete freedom in our hands. So here Nelson Mandela says that they have to work very hard, they have to work relentlessly. And he also pays tribute to all the heroes who played a very vital role in the gaining the freedom of South Africa. And he also says that this government which was going to form, he says that this government will be working for all the people, keeping in mind the whites, the blacks and all the people from all the caste and creed, because he says that they believe in the working for the well-being of their fellow countrymen. They believe for the well-being of their fellow countrymen. Let's see the lesson. The first non-racial government. Now first non-racial government means the government which was devoid of any caste, any color, any racial, but they were formed on the basis of the one thing, that was development of their mankind, of the fellow countrymen, that means of the South Africans. And Nelson Mandela also says that they were very happy that a non-racial government came into existence, so that the unity which was there in South Africans will be working for the future development of their country. It was 10th May 1994. Now the date यहाँ पे है, the date is very vital. 10th May 1994, जैसे हमारा था 15th August 1947 when India gained the freedom. Likewise, it was 10th May 1994. The day was bright and clear. So he's saying that day was also very awesome, and it gives him the happiness because they were liberated from the bondage and they were going to form the government of their own. So the day was clear. The union ceremonies, now in the union ceremonies means the governmental ceremonies. Now in our country, the swearing of the Prime Minister and his cabinet minister is happening in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. So likewise, the union ceremony of the first non-racial government, what is telling that a ceremony of the swearing of the president and two deputy president were to be happen in the union building. Now that union building was in Pretoria. That union building was in Pretoria. Moreover, there were the gatherings of 140 dignitaries and the politicians. Now from the 140 countries, all the respected dignitaries and the politicians, those representing their distinguished countries, they came to be the part of this vital ceremony which was going to happen and which would be written with a golden writing in the South African history. Moreover, the ceremony happened in the amphitheater. Now amphitheater is what? That the building does not have the roof, but it is having the stepwise seat arrangement, where the people can watch. Okay. Moreover, it happened in the amphitheater in the Union Building of Pretoria. We have the ceremonies of the Prime Minister and his cabinet minister swearing ceremonies in presidential place, that means Rashtrapati Bhavan. But in South Africa, this thing happened in the amphitheater in the Union Building of Pretoria. Now, before Mr. Nelson Mandela was sworn in as a president, there were two presidents. First president, who was deputy president, was Thabo Mbeki, and second deputy president was Mr. De Klerk. So Nelson Mandela said that he would not concentrate for the working for his own people of non-white, but he will also concentrate for the development and the working of the other people who are other than the blacks. So he said that in his eyes, his government would work for the betterment of the fellow South Africans. His government would be work for the betterment of the fellow South Africans. Now Mr. Nelson Mandela is giving the speech. He said that for the decades the South Africa was the seat of the white supremacy. So only the whites were considered supreme before the freedom of South Africa. And the black people and the other people were not considered to be as equal as the white people, white colored skin people. Now you know, in the human race, everybody is equal, irrespective of the caste, color, creed. Okay, as we are born human, every human is equal, and there should be no difference between the humans on the consideration of their caste or color, their creed, because this world is made beautiful with the humans only. Moreover, he said that the people of the South Africa had a conferred glory and hope to their newborn liberty. They said that they believe that their newborn liberty, their newborn freedom will have a sense of glory. They will have the confidence that now our nation will be on the path of equality, development, and we will be achieving the goals that were set as a part of the fight for the freedom. Now, the blacks were considered to be the outlaws. Now, what happened is that he said that before the freedom was gained, the black people were considered to be the outlaws. They were not considered as a part of the government or policy making. Okay, only the white had the supremacy for the policy making of South Africa, and they were considered only to be the responsibility to run the South Africa. He says that now the blacks also playing a very vital role and the crucial role. Okay, because now the country is free, so people from all the races, okay, other than white, will confer for the glory and development of the South Africa. Moreover, he says that now they were hosting the other nations of the world also. What was happening that they said that the blacks were considered as outlaws, but now the situation has changed. The countries of the world who went for the ceremony for the swearing of the president Nelson Mandela, this shows that now the black people also have the sense of dignity, a sense of freedom and liberty. And the world is also recognizing their work. That's why the different dignitaries from the different countries came for that ceremony. This victory over apartheid. Now apartheid is a system where the people are differentiated on the contrast of their color, caste, creed. Okay, so apartheid is a system where the people are differentiated on their color, caste, creed. Okay, so they were having victory over apartheid, and this victory over apartheid means it was a victory for justice, freedom, liberty. It was a justice over freedom, peace, humanity and equality. And it was meant that now the people in the South Africa were seen with one eye. Now the people in the South Africa were seen with one eye. That means there was no difference between the people, and the South African government would fight for the people who were under poverty, who were not having the justice, and they will be working to make their country free from disease, from poverty, and they will make the work happen for the development of the fellow South Africans, So it is very important. Mr. Mandela said that this government will work for the equality of the people of South Africa. Also will be making their country free from disease, from poverty and from injustice. It was an impressive display of jets. So before that, we have studied about that Nelson Mandela was sworn in as a president of South Africa, and in his speech he gave the promise that he will work for the betterment of the fellow countrymen, and also his government will work for the justice, for the freedom, and for the fight against the poverty and the disease. Okay, and he also promised that there will be equality and there will be no differences of the people on the basis of the race, color. Okay, so now let us see how the military also supported the first democratic government, and they also gave their loyalty to the government which was decided by the people of South Africa. There was a spectacular display of jets and helicopter. The jets and helicopter, they flew over in a formidable formation, and it flew over the amphitheater, okay, where the ceremony was taking place, and it was demonstration that military's loyalty was to the democratic government and the government which was formed. So this said that the military also support the democracy and the government which was chosen by the people of South Africa, They sung the two national anthem was sung. They sung the two national anthem, and now it was a time that they were looking in the previous chapter of the history. Now here Nelson Mandela says that he was overwhelmed by the sense of history. He says that their history was also the part that they would remember, because the struggle that they did in the past, and that struggle made them to reap the fruits of the freedom. So he said that apartheid came after Anglo-Boer War. So he said that apartheid, as you know, apartheid means that it is a system where people are differentiated on the basis of their race, color. Okay, so he said that after the Anglo-Boer War, apartheid came. And now he is telling that there is no place for any inequality or injustice. His government and the country would always focus for the betterment of the people of South Africa, and there will be no system in his government where the people will be differentiated on their color or race. So he is making a point here that apartheid was there, and this apartheid made the people of South Africa, especially the blacks, they had the wounds which was unforgettable, and he promised that in his government and after that the South Africa will be devoid of any differences. Everybody and everyone who was the citizen of South Africa would be seen with the eyes of equality, and the government of South Africa will work for the development and to make its country free from poverty, as well as to make the country on the path of development. Now in the previous part I have discussed about how the policy of apartheid gave the long-lasting wounds and unforgettable wounds to the people of South Africa, especially the blacks, who were exploited and their condition was not good till they achieved the freedom. Okay, so let us continue. Policy of apartheid gave wounds. Now in this part, Mr. Nelson Mandela says that the apartheid policy, it is a system where the differentiation is done of the people on their color and race. So what he says that this policy of apartheid created a deep and long-lasting wounds in the minds of the people, and especially the black people who were suffering from it. So it gave them the wounds, okay, and they could never forget how the struggle they did for achieving their freedom. So for the decades there was an exploitation and oppression of the blacks, and He says that for the decades the black people were exploited, okay, and oppressions were done, and this thing, because of the apartheid policy and the differentiation and the policy where the people were differentiated on the basis of their color and race, it gave birth to the heroes like Tambos, Sisulu, Dadus. Like we had the freedom heroes like Gandhiji, Nehruji, Sardar Patel. So they were the heroes, okay, who fought for the freedom for our nation. Likewise, the South Africa also produced heroes like Tambos, Sisulus and Dadus. So he is saying that the heroes which were there, they fought for the policy of apartheid and the injustice that was happening to their people. Moreover, they were men with the wisdom, courage and generosity. Okay, so these Tambos, Sisulus, Dadus and other heroes, they fought for especially the black people and for making the South Africa free from bondage and the policy of apartheid. As a result, he says that these were the men with the courage, wisdom, generosity, and they had lot of patience, and they did not stop at any point of time. They continued their fight against the injustice and exploitation, especially for the people who were blacks, because these were the people who were affected more by the policy of apartheid. And that's why Mr. Nelson Mandela says that these wounds were long lasting on the minds of the people of black, because they were the one who were given the more of the trouble by the policy of apartheid. As a part of this, Mr. Nelson Mandela also adds one point. He says that for him, the diamonds and the minerals which were found in South Africa, he said that the diamonds and the minerals, okay, which were found in the mines of South Africa were nothing. They were not his assets, but the people of the South Africa were his real assets. But the people of the South Africa were his real assets. So in this part, we have studied that apartheid gave a long-lasting wounds to the people, especially the blacks, and moreover, these people started a protest against it, and this protest, they produced the heroes like Tambos, Sisulus, Dadus. Like we had our heroes like Gandhiji, Nehru, Sardar Patel, Subhash Chandra Bose. So many of like the Indian heroes, the South Africans also have the fighters who fought against this policy and the injustice, like Tambos, Sisulu, Dadus and other. And he says that they were the men with the courage, wisdom, patience, generosity, okay, and they had a will to fight any of the condition. Last on, Mr. Mandela adds that South Africa's real asset is not the mines or the minerals or the diamond mines, but the real asset of the South Africa was the people of South Africa, and he will work for the development of the people of South Africa. In this part we will see that how Mr. Nelson Mandela, he gives a thumbs up to all the heroes who fought for the struggle of South Africa. He says that the struggle of comrades, Nelson Mandela learned the meaning of courage. Now courage means the bravery, or it is the thing that is you overcome your fear. From such brave comrades, so he said that he had learned many things, and we can also learn many things from our national heroes who are the part of the struggle for our independence. We can learn the will, we can learn the patience, we can learn the policy, we can learn how they went in a one way of their path which was decided for them, and they did not stop unless and until their goal of independence of India was achieved. Here also he says that the courage and bravery of such comrades was salutable, and courage is the victory over fear. Now he specifies what is meaning of courage according to him. He says that courage is the one which gives you victory over your fear. Okay, if you are having the fear of maths, okay, and if you do well in that subject, that means you are courageous, you have overcome your difficulty. The comrades were ready to risk and sacrifice their life for the idea of freedom and equality. He says that all the heroes, all the comrades who are fighting together for the freedom struggle of South Africa, they were ready to sacrifice their life, to sacrifice their property and everything, even the risking their life, they're putting their life on the line for the freedom and equality, because the wounds of apartheid had gone deep rooted in the minds of the people of South Africa, and their struggle continued till the freedom and equality was achieved. Now these heroes were put behind the bars, they were imprisoned, but still in that dark time also they did not lose the hope. Many times our leaders were also put behind the bars, but these leaders never stopped or never they gave up because they were put behind the bars, but they continued their fight, they continued their struggle, and they achieved the goal of the independence. Then they were happy that their whole fighting for the nation was achieved. Likewise, even in the darkest prisons, their hopes and faith were not broken. Their hopes and faith did not break. These people who fought for the nation, they have the speciality of courage. Their mindset is focused on achieving the independence, and they work relentlessly for achieving their goal. So they continued their struggle. He says that they continued their struggle and they did not stop till the freedom was achieved. Like our leaders also did not stop till they achieved the freedom for India. Many of our heroes like Mahatma Gandhi, Nehru ji, Sardar Patel, Subhash Chandra Bose, okay, and other heroes also, they work relentlessly, and their contribution also in the struggle of the fight for our country's freedom is unaccountable. It cannot be expressed in words. These people also gave their whole life for achieving the independence of India. So Mr. Mandela gives the last part of the speech. Okay, now in this part, Mr. Nelson Mandela gives the reason why he joined the African National Congress. Mr. Nelson Mandela realized that he was not free, and not only he, but his brothers and sisters, that means the fellow South Africans, were also not free. They were deprived of their freedom, they were deprived of the equality, and he said that for this he need to continue the fight, and so he joined the African National Congress. It was his desire for the freedom, okay, and to give the justice to his people, to gain the freedom, to gain the justice, to gain the equality for the people of the South Africa. He joined the African National Congress. He was a lawyer, okay, who would fight for the law and who would abide the law, but he outlawed, that means he came against the law for achieving the freedom, equality and justice for his fellow countrymen. Moreover, it was his desire to freedom that changed him from weak to strong. He had a strong will. He had a strong will that he would fight for the justice, equality, freedom for his country and the people of his country. As a result of it, that changed him from the weak to the strong one. As a result of that, it was transformed, that he was transformed from the weak to strong. He says that freedom is important for every individual. For every individual, freedom is the most important thing, because that gives you the sense of equality, that gives you the sense of liberty, and your individual actions which you want to express is expressed by the freedom. the oppressed and the oppressor, that means the person who is oppressed and the person who is oppressor, they both are robbed their humanity. They both are robbed by their humanity. And he says that the one who is doing injustice and the one who is feeling the injustice is done to him, they both are robbed their humanity. They both are robbed of their humanity. And they believe that they both must be liberated. Mr. Nelson Mandela believed that they both must be liberated, and the justice, freedom, equality should be sustained in the humanity. A sense of humanity, peace, justice should be prevailed in their nation. Thank you.